Going down in your living room, suckers. Thank you for taking the ride on the Freedom Train podcast series. I'm your host, Joseph Ward, and ride with me is my homeboys Patrick and Jamie, and we bringing in the new year like some G. Oh my goodness. Really going down. Hey, but before we get loose, remember, the Freedom Train is brought to you by PAX Inc., and that's PACTSINC. And PAX Inc. is a black advocacy organization aimed at developing the black community to its maximum potential through a focus on education and economics with the traits of hard work, honesty, and integrity. So for more information, make sure you visit www.pactsinc.org, and that way you can learn more about me, Jamie, Pat, and it go all the way down. You can learn more about the shows that we have, the Freedom Train podcast series, the Fixed Sports podcast, Lessons from the Screen, and Office Hours with Professor Carlton Jones and Erica Topa, and learn about all our upcoming shows and everything that we have going on the Freedom Train network, because it go down. I messed that all up, didn't I? Didn't I mess that up?
It's the last show of the year. Keep it moving.
Yeah, I messed that all the way up, didn't I? I'm supposed to be talking about PAX, and I was talking about the Freedom Train. Go to PAX, PACTSINC.org, then go to the Freedom Train website. Go to www.freedomtrainradio.com. That way you can learn more about everything on the Freedom Train podcast series, the Fixed Sports podcast show. The Fit Sports Podcast, Lessons from the Screen, Office Hours with Professor Carlton Jones and Eric Toba on the freedomtrainradio.com, and don't forget about paxinc.com. I tore that all the way up, but it's all good, man. It's the last show of the year. Hey, man, y'all, people should be used to that by now, so.
Yes.
Yeah, they should be.
Hey, forget y'all, man.
Yes.
Hey.
Oh, man. This is going to be a good one. So what we got, Joe?
Man, look here. We're going to go back and revisit some of the shows that we did this year. And then we're also going to look at some of these events that happened around that affected our community. Just have a little fun, cracking some jokes.
Actually,
and
that's not this year, because by the time this come out.
Well, okay, yeah, 2017.
Oh, my God, Mr.
Right.
Technicality over here.
Yeah, I got to.
Yeah, are you that guy? Hey, see you next year.
Hey, that laugh was killer. Cranky. No, I got to, because I don't want us talking about, like, things and then, you know what I'm saying? Feel me? Go ahead, Joe.
No, we don't at all. Go ahead, Joe.
I gotta make it weird. That's my role in this.
Be technical. Be technical. You're going to hear this in 2018, but this is a recap of 2017. Okay, people.
Yeah.
You can't put that together. So, yeah, don't get y'all draws all in the bunch.
I'm doing my job, man. As Joe said, be sure you make every show a little awkward. That's all I'm trying to do.
You achieved that. Now let's go ahead and iron the rest of this shit out. Good job, Pat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, man, let's take it back. So, last year, the first show we did. What's interesting about what we're about to talk about is we ended the year in the black community the same way we started the year, with some bullshit going on.
That's
right?
A fact.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
So, the very first show that we did in 2017, the title of the show was Black Empowerment versus the Ego. Which will we choose? And we were talking about beef between Dr. Umar and SETI that hadn't popped off up in the black community. And it seems we ended the year with some of the bullshit between Umar, Tariq Nasheed, Boyce Watkins, and what's the other dude? Sabir Bay.
Is Sabir in that?
Yes, Siberian did not.
I didn't know Sabir was in that. I know Sabir and Tariq weren't really messing with each other. I didn't know he was in that whole situation though.
Yeah, Siberian and now because I heard. Remember, I know I was talking to you the other day, Pat, and Umar was doing a video about Siberia. Talking about this person who been hating on me around Philly. I don't know about his situation in Siberia, but he was saying basically Umar was saying dude been hating on him for a long time and all these things. Said whatever. But all I know is we ending the same year, same way we starting the year with some bullshit going on, and Umar Johnson is the constant.
Yo, man, to all the Umar fans out there,
Go ahead and let them know.
I get it. He is a great speaker. He can articulate himself very well. He makes some very excellent points, so on and so forth. But he has backed himself into this corner that he made up for himself, and now he feels the whole world is against him. Here's the thing. Nobody's against him. But I think he has a problem with people holding him accountable for the things he say and the things he say he's going to do, et cetera, et cetera. So this Umar, he literally champions this bullshit. It's Umar versus the world, Umar versus everybody, when it really isn't. That shit is make-believe. It's pretend. People really fuck with him, but when you start getting into it and start, giving him that work as everybody should, he kind of feels like, oh, you're hating on me, people against me and all that fuck shit. And beginning of the year, when it was Umar had beef with Seti and they had their little exchange and all that good stuff, I kind of cooled out on Dr. Umar Johnson. There's a lot of things he says that I agree with. He makes a lot of excellent points, but sometimes that character piece to me, the arrogance, the boasting, that's cool. Be swaggadocious if you need to, whatever the case may be. But at a certain point, you got to actually back that shit up you're saying. And when that whole SETI thing happened and, people start questioning about the school and stuff like that, I had to look, kind of do a self-reflection of myself. Like, yo, am I just being a fanboy? Am I just, oh, he's cool, he says a bunch of cool shit and I like it, I'm going to just roll with it? I had to honestly look deep inside and be like, yo, this dude ain't really saying what he, doing, he promising the school this, that, and the other, and it ain't happening yet. All the things he says, yeah, he's a clinical psychologist, he's doing this, he's having, meetings with, I love all of that. But if you're going to boast and brag and, say all this number one shit, this, that, and the other, you got to be able to back it up.
Hey, man, but see that right there.
You got to back that shit up.
Like, all right. Well, let me say what I need to say before I start going in on individual personalities. All right. First of all, to be ending the year the same way we start the year is some straight bullshit. It's straight bullshit because Pat, one of the things we were talking about that you said is a very, very, very important point. It makes those of us who are on the come up trying to do our best to be a force in the black community, it makes others, it makes it harder for them to trust us. Like it's going to make us work harder to earn the trust of the people because the people are waiting on some bullshit to pop off from us. And we're not even on that lane. And so that's one of the things that I don't like about this. Second of all, they some grown-ass men. So they should have called each other up. Because from what I saw, this is from what I saw. Thursday, Umar put out a meme on Instagram saying that some dude sent him a message saying that he liked Umar better than Boyce Watkins because Umar jumped in his documentary for free and Boyce Watkins was going to charge him to do the documentary. And so the dude sent that to Umar. Umar posted that. So I know I don't know why, but I just did it. I put my little captions, I commented. You really didn't have to do that, basically. Like, you could have kept that under wraps. So next thing you know, Tariq Nasheed reposted that with his comment saying, well, Umar, whatever. Then Umar reposted that saying we could take it to the streets or we could fight, we could take it to the boxing ring and all that. And then Umar put out a video. Then Tariq put out a video And, you know, Boyce Watkins over in the corner sneak dissing. So this is how we get to this point. But it's like, y'all some grown-ass men acting like some bitches, though. Now, go ahead.
Nah, and here's the thing. We got to address Umar as his own separate self, because a lot of people are doing that I'm seeing, they're addressing the fuck shit as a whole.
But I wanted to make sure I lay a foundation of the information for people who don't know, so they can have a foundation of what's going on before we go in. Because we got to go in, because we have to go in. So I want to make sure people understand what we're doing, because we're talking about, it's one person who's the constant in all this shit.
And that's what I want. I would hope people realize. Like, granted, there's a whole issue. All this shit looks messy. It looks terrible. But what I've learned in my lifetime, you got to do a root cause analysis. What is the root cause of this drama we're seeing? And that root cause of all this drama is Dr. Umar. Sometimes I feel, his ego has surpassed what his initial goal was and what he set out to do. And now I feel he wants to feel that he's on the same level as a Frederick Douglass, his kinsman, as he so says.
I'm the most requested.
Yeah, that ego wants to come out, and he wants to feel like he's in the top spot. Everybody wants his spot, this, that, and the other. When I kind of feel like he has to humble himself in a certain way. And I don't think his friends or the people around him, his circle, or even him himself realizes, just be humble. Like, you're doing your thing. You're giving good information. But all this extra shit, calling yourself Big Papa, number one this, the most requested, and nobody cares, man. Get out of here.
Now, and it's interesting that this is happening during Kwanzaa, so that lets you know that about Kwanzaa.
Moja.
Yeah, right. But also, this is also happening on the heels of Umar having to go to trial. Now, one thing me and Pat been talking about is Umar. Yes, what happened to Umar and his license being under question is some bull. It is, but Umar is putting a spin on this real good with his words that if you go back and read the documents, how he's putting it out and how it's read in the documents is two different things. Because he's making it seem like they're coming directly after his license. From the documents that we read, it's basically saying if he's found to have been operating outside of his license, the options are one, to pay a fine, or the other would be to take his license, and those are the options that the courts have if he's found guilty. But most of the language was talking about the fines for up to $250,000. Am I right? Am I correct, Pat?
Yeah. Well, the issue is he's operating in an area that he's not licensed to operate. So really, the only recourse they have is a fine. You can't take a license from somebody who doesn't have a license. If he had one, there wouldn't be an issue. Not saying he doesn't have a license, period.
Because he does.
Because he is a licensed school psychologist, or a certified school psychologist, let me say that. But he is not a licensed psychologist. He is not licensed to provide psychotherapy on an individual basis. He's not licensed to be a psychologist, a counselor of that level on an individual basis. So anytime he offers psychological services outside of in the school psychology setting, he is outside of his realm, and he can't be fined for that.
Right. Now, for what we read on, I read through the documents, and I read through the documents twice, maybe 3 times. I think 3 times when I was sitting in there. And I also went to the website. Now, what they're trying to get him on is a stretch, because they're saying, because what they're saying is that he's operating outside of his license through something on his website. And if you go to the website, it's nothing saying, hey, I'm offering these services. Now, he does have those calls, and I think they're trying to pin him on saying that he's operating because he's operating like a licensed psychologist on these calls, but you can't really prove that.
Well, because in the language, and it is definitely petty. Somebody was hunting.
Yeah.
But it says he says he has these weekly calls where he offers mental health services. Or, you know, and you could get him for that because technically he's not licensed. And even to that, we got to, because he's talking about his credentials. There's a difference between certification, there's a difference between having a degree, and there's a difference between being licensed. They can't take his degree. He earned that. He already has it. They can't take it. They aren't trying to take his certification. That's not even up for discussion. But when you get licensed to do something, typically getting licensed involves some sort of government organization, government body, and typically you have to get licensed because it's illegal to do whatever it is you're trying to do without a license. It's the government's way of sanctioning certain quote-unquote important activities. Like you would want your doctor to be licensed. You would want, you know, see, there are certain professions that you would want somebody to have some sort of oversight over what they're doing. So, I mean, not to get too deep into all of that, because it really, like Umar really is, he's playing a game of semantics. I've been trying to hold my tongue on it because I'm not real sure where I want to place Umar yet in terms of his status in the community. I'm going to just continue to hold my tongue, but I do want to speak to the followers. Y'all are failing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the job of the followers to hold their leaders to a course. And if you view Dr. Umar Johnson as your leader, then you are failing him by not holding him accountable. You are part of the problem by not checking his ego, by not checking his information, by not making sure that you're not so emotionally attached to him that when he comes under attack, you feel under attack, by not verifying what he has to say. Like, you're failing, and your failure has caused this problem where now the guy that you love is systemically tearing himself down. Like, white supremacy don't even have to put no effort into it. He's literally been self-destructing for the last 4 or 5 years, and y'all have been encouraging him to do it. The man's been on fire, and y'all are pouring gasoline on him.
Hey.
Like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Bullshit. Just being fans. But see, that's the thing. It's like we was talking earlier. It's a fan. Like when you proclaim yourself as a fan, you proclaim yourself as an irrational person. It's okay to be a supporter, but I don't think the black community need to be fans of anything.
You shouldn't be a fanatic over nothing.
So, I mean, but once again, like I started off, why are we ending the year the same way we started the year? And why? And it's like you cannot just continue to do destructive things and get away with it within the community. And that's our community, like you just said. Community is not holding people accountable for their actions. Community is encouraging the bullshit. Because people in this stuff, people are taking sides. Nah, all of them fucking up. Like, all y'all grown men, all y'all got each other's numbers. All y'all could have called each other. Y'all could have called each other, met up somewhere, either gonna fight and be friends afterward, or you just be friends. But damn it, do something. But all the back and forth videos and the memes and all that schoolyard stuff, y'all need to grow the hell up, man.
Yeah, the videos and shit is not cool. Even though, and I will admit right here on the air, I did laugh at the Tariq Nasheed.
That Tariq video, I'm glad you said it, because that Tariq video was funny as shit. I'm not going to lie, but it's stupid.
I had a moment. I had a moment.
I had about 70.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that it's really not what you want to see. But then, you know, Jamie made a couple good points, and I think he was the first person recently with this whole scenario to be like, but these dudes aren't leaders. You got to take people for what they give you. So if you want to take information from these dudes, that's fine. But like one of the things I did appreciate in the Tariq video was when he was reading the comments and the girl somebody was like, you're better than this. And he was like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not. Right. Because but he's not. And see, that's the thing. Jamie, you watch Tariq videos, right?
Right.
So this is like we said at the beginning of the year. This is what Seti does. This is what Tariq does. But the difference in this is Tariq has never clashed with other than Roland Martin. And I don't know where you classify Roland Martin, but Tariq has never really clashed with another person from the black conscious community like this before, because Tariq has this type of behavior for people that he deemed coons and sellouts and enemies of the community.
Right.
He does this for these people all the time. But this is the first time this has happened with another member of the community like that, you know. So
no, and I get it. In the whole situation, the back and forth, I'm probably, it's weird, but I actually get it. From Tariq's side, I actually get it. But here's my thing, and I made this point to you fellas, I made this point earlier. There's a difference between being a follower and being a fanatic, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Followers that actually go out and bang for your shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I made the comment to you fellas earlier, like the minister Louis Farrakhan, he has followers. He has people that going to go out and they going to follow every single word. That is followership. What Tariq Nasheed and what Umar Johnson have are just fans. People that are going to support them from an emotional standpoint, but nobody's going out and banging for no goddamn Umar Johnson, and nobody's banging for Tariq. But the difference between the Tariq and the Umar Johnson is Tariq plays his lane. Tariq, he knows he's an entertainer. He does that, but he also gives us information. He even said it, and you guys alluded to it, that, hey, I'm not better than this. Don't put me on a pedestal. I've heard Tariq Nasheed say that. Don't put me on a pedestal. And I am cool with that. And, you know, people like, oh, the videos are petty. They are. Them shits was funny as fuck. I'm not even going to lie.
He eats at Umar. Let's just be real. He gave Umar the business. But it's like, you should, like, I would prefer, the ignorant side of me like that, I'm not going to lie. The ignorant part of me like that, I'm just being transparent. The ignorance in me, like, yes, get his ass, Tariq, get his ass. But then the man in me and the black person on me, the man in me that's on code, it's like, call him up and do that shit on the phone.
But, and here's the thing, and this is probably where I disagree with that, the calling up on the phone part. Umar has been doing a lot of fuck shit lately. Let's be honest.
Right. He has. But that's why I say the ignorant side of me like that he got aired out like that.
And that's what I'm saying. In the black community, we feel like all our problems we got to handle internally, this, that, and other. But sometimes, if you even look at different cultures, if you do some real fuck shit and you on some dumbass stuff, they publicly. Yeah, exactly.
But they do publicly put you out within their own community. I guess the biggest issue with that with us is it's public in front of other communities.
But we don't have,
to a degree.
We don't have the tools.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And what I'm getting at, to a degree, it's in public, but it's not in public. Nobody's picking up this on Fox News and all these other stations. This shit literally is picking up on black people who actually give a fuck about what's going on in the conscious community. So in essence, it's not being picked up. Of course, your little internet trolls who are white nationalists and all that dumbass stuff, yeah, they might pick on it, come and do some little troll stuff. We're not worried about the trolls. But the mainstream media, nobody's paying attention to this inner rivalry bullshit. The black feminists are, because they kind of plug into the conscious community. But for the whole part, other than people that are actually in tune with what's going on, those are only people actually paying attention to what's going on. So it's not as public as we may think. But I do feel Umar Johnson needed this. He has, trust me, I'm braggadocious. If anybody knows me personally, and none of you motherfuckers listening to this know me personally, so you will not get the privilege of knowing me personally, I'm going to talk my shit for just 1 second. But I'm cool with that. Him saying the number one bullshit, this, and other. Okay, cool, fine. But when somebody comes and straight up G-checks you and you have nothing, then I'm gonna kind of call you on that bullshit. And that's what happened with Seti at the beginning of the year. Seti G-checked his ass. Like, yo, blah, 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 blah. Gave him that word. And Umar was, still relying, I'm the number one, I'm Big Papa, the Frederick does it. And it's just like, dog, you got to back that shit up. We want to see something. If we gave all that money, we want to see something. And again, back to what I was saying earlier, one of the big reasons I cooled out on Dr. Umar is because it don't take all that to build a charter school and just start from something. And I think that's what a lot of people want to see. Just start from something. It doesn't have to be this grand enterprise. Just start from something. We gave him the money. Just start something. And I think slowly, especially now that he's went to war with somebody that's actually going to participate in it, that's actually going to give him that work back.
Well, he actually knocked on a door of somebody who won't stop.
And but Tariq, it will. It has
like
the platform.
Tariq, one of the ones that you got to be like, hey man, we're gonna turn out. We're just gonna not look at you no more because we know you're not. Because he's still going in. He's still going in on Thomas Sotomayor. That's been what
right
4
now.
years. Right.
Boy, that dude deserves it, but
Thomas is a coon. Thomas is a flat. But what I'm saying though is, like, I agree. Umar needs to be checked, and Umar is getting checked by somebody who don't mind checking, who got the resources, the platform, and everything that somebody probably needed to check Umar, and he did need to be checked. I do agree with that.
And my thing is, it's like, okay, forget Umar Johnson. To the people that are in the conscious community, stop like pledging allegiance to somebody who you agree with on shit. Like that to me, I had a chance to sit back and think about it. It's not Umar Johnson and Tariq that's the problem. It's not. It's the people who, like Pat said. It's the people. Yeah, it's literally the people who like, oh, I don't care. I'm gonna support you. I'll stand with you. Shut that dumb shit up. At the end of the day, you're there to get the knowledge. Get the knowledge these brothers are speaking, but you don't have to pledge allegiance to him. Who the fuck is Umar Johnson for you to be pledging allegiance and saying, I stand by you? Like, he has no organization. He's not out there. Like, he does a lot of things. I'm not discounting what the brother may or may not be doing at this point. I'm not discounting that. But on the grand scheme of things, he's not somebody I'm going to pledge allegiance to that I got to ride or die for. Fuck no. He's not even organized to that degree for you to even pledge allegiance to him. All he's doing is lecturing you. Like, relax. Get the information. Apply that shit to your everyday life and press forward. Get on code. That's what I get out from it. But go ahead, Pat. Fuck with it.
No, I see both sides. I see Tariq's. I understand Tariq's side. And him doing what he doing, and especially if Umar really has been taking shots at the brother for as long, that long. I get it. As a community, we do need to develop the infrastructure and the ability to talk to each other in-house. Right now, we don't have that ability, so the only way we can check each other is in public. And that's disturbing, and that's something that needs to shift. But the reason I struggle with Umar is because I'm in those circles. I have phone calls with people that bring him to town, people that have been trying to get things done. Umar, if he listens to this, I want him to hear people really want that brother to succeed. They really want him to do something. The problem is Umar seems content with the status that he's acquired by speaking. And that is the crux of it, because when you begin to name what has Umar actually done tangibly, and
that's what Tariq asked.
Tariq made a real good point when he said that, because I've talked to community organizers all over the country, South Carolina, North Carolina, out west in California, everywhere, not everywhere, but in several places that he's been. He shows up, he makes these grand promises about what he's going to do, and he leaves. And there's no follow-through. The community people can't reach him on the other end unless they're booking for another speaking engagement. There's a lot of bad around this brother that centers around personality traits. And I honestly think he set out with the intention of doing good for the community, but somewhere along the way, he seems to have lost his way and lost his mind in the process. And that's why I say I struggle with him, because Umar Johnson is like, right now to me, the best analogy I can give is he's like when you purchase a brand new house. You're all excited about it. Everybody tells you that you just made a wonderful investment. You know, it's a wonderful asset, blah, 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 blah. But then when you really look at it under the surface, you begin to wonder, is this house that I may or may not be able to afford an asset or a liability? Is it doing me more good or is it hurting me? Because we all know houses don't become assets until you finish paying them off. All the way up until then, they're liabilities. Now, I know that's not necessarily the greatest analogy, but that's the best one I can come up with at the moment for what Umar Johnson seems to represent to the community. He has the potential to be a wonderful asset, but at the current moment and for the last 3 or 4 years, he's been a horrible liability.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And my thing is, I think the followership should second guess and question. Because, trust me, I know what it means to be a follower. I know what it means to be a leader. And as a follower, you have to hold the leaders accountable. Because if your leaders aren't accountable for their actions, then that erodes proper followership. It does. So his followers got to understand, okay, let me take a step back.